can hear the cosmic ham sizzling away.
That's all encrypted.
We search for the sound of the cosmic ham.
Exactly.
We search for the crackle. The sizzle crackle. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premiere paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Baldwin.
I am Roger, the salty chip Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco Decursed Mirrors. 100% pre-owned, pre-cursed mirrors, expertly decursed by our waiting team of shamans, wise women, and demonic patrons. Monstroco Decursed Mirrors. We're pretty sure we got all the ghosts out.
Woo! You better be careful, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, they say they're safe. They're pretty sure, like it says right at the end, they're pretty sure they got all the ghosts out.
Do you think,
I mean, now that it's just a normal mirror, the only monster you can see inside of it is yourself.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
so that's accurate. That's
a good tag,
decursed
actually.
mirror.
I'll bet they'll add that to the... I'll write it down. I'll add it to the copy. I'll send it back. Monster, seeing them.
I like how they remove the ghost, but I assume it's probably easier to now put more ghost in there.
Well, like I got one and the ghost is gone, but there's a lot of you can see there's a scary face where it got pulled out, you know? And there's
When it
still a lot of
fogs up,
writing
there's-
on the inside of
yeah.
it. Yeah, when it fogs up. And sometimes the writing changes, but I don't think the ghost is still in there. These are decursed mirrors, you see?
It says that in the copy. That's what they said.
Right in the copy. Yeah, which is why they're so
Yeah,
expensive.
it's like how when Carvana says they're selling you a used car that's never been in a shop before.
Yeah, no flood damage. It says no flood damage. Right on there. Decursed. Curses are out of there. What do they do with the curses? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. How are you guys doing? I'm sick.
I hear I'm doing well. It's sunny again once again in Denver. We're having our warm weather week.
Ooh,
It is a warm weather week.
they call that fool's spring. It's a trick so that winter can get you.
Beware
I
the
expect
winter
we'll get
wizards.
like one crazy snowstorm at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I draw blood from the talking skull initially?
I think you should. God, anything to keep us from talking about the weather.
I was going to talk about the weather wizards. It's been snowing every Wednesday since the year
What has
started.
it been snowing? Frogs? Fish? Then get it off my podcast. I have a certain taste for the things that go in my ears. And so do our pingos.
Well, I wanted to take us on a little trip across the ocean to a land that's probably very snowy still, called Poland.
Ooh,
This is from discoverkrakow.com.
I love Polish
The top-
food.
As do I. It's
Most
Most of it's
fantastic.
ghost based.
It's
well,
another...
You're about to discover that you also just love the top 20 most scary Polish folklore creatures.
Ooh, damn. And the
And I-
delicious meals they love to eat.
Well, yeah, some of them.
This guy loves to sneak sausages.
Also, this whole list, boy, Poland has it bad on pretty much every level, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah, the
it
Witcher
opens up
games
a-
really make it seem like they have the worst lot.
Man, The Witcher kicks ass.
It literally the opening paragraph of this is, did you know the world-renowned game The Witcher by CD Projekt Red? It was based on novels by Andrzej Sapkowski about a man hunting down and killing monsters. What kinds? The Slavic ones, of course, because Polish folklore creatures are among the cruelest and terrifying.
Whoa, yeah, that makes sense. It is a land of make-believe.
So we'll just jump right down to the first one. These are Polish demons of the air. So there are multiple
demons of the airwaves.
How do we classify our Polish demons? Yeah. They've decided to classify them by either choosing the creature's methods or the place where it lives. So they've opted for the latter, arranging the monsters in order from least scary in a given category to ones whose very names induce dread. So, I mean, it's almost kind of an Oscar feeling, right? We're going to go from category to category, and we can vote on which one's the fucking weirdest.
Which one gets to win?
Dude, it's crazy that
yeah.
I was going to say a movie that won because this is coming out after the Oscars, but I have no idea what movies are up for Best Picture.
Bebe's Kids?
I mean, it's probably Bebe's Kids again.
They don't die. They multiply.
Exactly.
Monkey Bone?
This first one is Polish Demons of the Air.
Oh, okay.
The first one, and we're going to have a ton of mispronunciations in here.
Sure.
So forgive me for that, but I'm going to do my best. Now, the first one is Latavich, or Lataviecha, which is the fiery serpent.
Oh.
Souls of miscarried children, people who were hanged, convicted villains. All of them were to be transformed into great black birds after death, affecting atmospheric phenomena.
Oh.
But not only that, they loved going down to earth and seducing people. Hence, today's Polish dictionary of phraseologies includes the Polish Latawiecz and Latawieka as a synonym for sexually promiscuous people.
Wow.
And it was the latter activity that... the latter activity that caused the idea of the fiery serpent in Polish folklore to change over time.
Look,
Through
you
the
have
clergy,
been a very bad
they began to be
person
associated with
in your life, and so in death you are doomed to be a big bird who has the power of tornadoes and goes fuck crazy on all the townspeople.
I would never be I would never be good. That seems like my end evolution, my end game.
Truly. Better than
what are you going to be when you die, Jordan?
Skeleton.
Is it a death bird?
No, a skeleton.
I'll be a death bird with me.
Okay, but will it be like the Elden Ring death birds? Because they're terrifying.
Fucking sounds like it.
Get a dope hook from one of them.
Well, like you'd literally get a wingman.
Okay, that was fun. All right,
through the clergy, they began to be they began to be associated with large, lewd air devils. Their favorite pastime is harassing honest and God-fearing women at night in order to persuade them to commit the sin of impurity. What did the people say among themselves? Quote, "That Laviech will spare no woman. He wants them all. That Slavica has done it with every man in the village.
Whoa.
Innocent boys, girls, you should always be on your guard. Latavice, I cannot pronounce these words. Latavice and Latavice have the ability to take the form of an attractive young man or a fair woman." Next one up. This is actually two.
They just yell lewd secrets then.
Yeah, no, I think they just come down and they're like, "You should smile more."
Oh, okay. It's not like they know my darkest secrets, and they're
works.
like, "Oh, Jordan eats cheese in his underpants in front of the fridge at night."
No, you reveal that yourself, buddy.
Oh,
No. Oh no, it's not trickery. It's they find that out once they've been inside of us.
well, they tricked me.
The next one, I think I'm saying it right. Poroniec and Alkanost.
Mm.
A violent and premature death caused great anxiety and fear in people in the Middle Ages. Such people were accused of contacts with unclean forces. This is how the Poroniec came to be, i.e., the souls of children who have parted the world while still in the womb or after birth, but before baptism. Such prematurely deceased children were to be guided by immense envy that they did not get to enjoy their lives.
Oh, wow.
Moreover, they were usually buried just about anywhere in secluded spots so that no one finds the corpse. Their souls went to eternal damnation, transforming into bird infants, flying at night and attacking pregnant women and young children to suck out their blood.
Whoa!
This was to be retribution for the harm they had suffered.
Damn. It's fucked up.
Yeah, another dead baby turned into a fucking night bird.
Yeah.
Meeting a bird at night, however, might be meeting with another Polish mythical creature, the Alkanost. However, instead of a child's head, they didn't really describe the bird infants well until right now. They had child's heads.
Ugh.
These night birds had the face of a beautiful woman. These were demons of the...
Kind of a lateral move.
These were demons of the women who committed suicide...
Oh, it's more than lateral.
Who committed suicide after killing their child.
That's what I'm talking about.
The singing
Polish La Llorona.
Yeah, that's some shit right there.
Dude, I mean, it actually is. The singing of Alkanost would lure men, driving them mad.
Wow.
Whereas they themselves would lay eggs on a beach from which a huge uncontrollable storm would hatch.
Whoa, fucking crazy.
So those are our three Polish air demons.
Wow.
Matawiec, Poroniec, and Alkanost. I feel like the one that has a child's head and sucks your blood is gotta be the weirdest one.
Yeah, that one I think wins the Oscar for weirdest one.
Bravo.
Bravo. Excellent work.
The next category, Polish field, forest, and roadside monsters. This one I've actually talked about before is Lady Midday and Lady Midnight.
Oh.
Yeah, well, this is a field monster.
Sure.
Poludnishka, maybe, or Lady Midday or Lady Rye. She has other names. The first term it says it's certainly the most popular, which makes sense because that's the one that's in Polish. Feared by everyone working in the field during the July and August heat, as the name suggests, she always appeared at noon when the sun shone the most. And she basically walks through the field, and if you have exhaustion or sunstroke or for whatever reason, you can't continue working the rest of the day, she takes you away.
Yeah, I remember this one from the game. This shit was terrifying.
In the Witcher, Lady Midnights are a monster.
Yeah.
The next one is the Plevnik, who was a man with a grainy complexion, with ears of grain instead of facial hair. Supposedly he walked the fields, sometimes at noon, sometimes at sunset, and played at the expense of those he encountered, leading them off into the field the wrong way.
Whoa.
He liked to strangle or trample those who fell asleep. He was
Whoa.
particularly fond of playing with drunks, to whom he used sophisticated aggression.
Damn.
Originally, Polevnik mainly played the function as the protector of fields and forests. This, however, was taken over by Veles or Leshy. Our field dwarf was quickly degraded to the rank of an infernal creature.
Whoa.
Next in here is Baba Yaga, which is their first of the hags. Obviously, Baba Yaga, we know all about. She's a witch. She lives in a house that's on a chicken legs. It can run around. She eats children. 15 werewolves. Speaks for itself.
The best magic card in existence. 15 werewolves.
15 werewolves.
Rusalka, we've also talked about, but we can cover it real quick. She's a water demon that lived on the banks and lakes of rivers, usually women who had drowned before getting married. They appear as beautiful naked or half-naked women, clad in airy shirts or silver robes, with fair skin and long green hair. Heads adorned with wreaths, and flowers and herbs and shit. And then they have the power of enchantment. They tempt you into, it says herbs here. I hadn't heard that before, but maybe.
Bitch got some basil on her
and they basically bring people to the shore and then drown them.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Rusalka. You know the Rusalka.
Sure. I'm just kind of, doing reaction sounds.
And then there we've got 3 of them here. Also of the waters, Utopiach, Yopielach, and Vodnik. The shores of all inland waters were considered to be particularly dangerous places for all bathers, fishers, and drifters. Why? Because there were often drownings and unfortunate accidents, and it was the souls of those who died tragically in the water that became an Utopchi or Topielchi, the name varying depending on the region. They were depicted as deformed people with scales and with fingers covered with membranes. They basked at the banks near bridges and footbridges and suddenly pulled people into the water. Sometimes these Polish monsters, like the Sphinx, would ask their victims riddles on which their fate depended.
Oh boy.
However, these were rarely guessed.
Yeah, I can barely guess a riddle when I'm not being faced down by a living legend monster thing.
It's because riddles are stupid and arbitrary, and the answer could be anything. I'm coming. Come at me, riddles.
The answer is time, Roger, and you know that.
I refuse to believe that's what the answer could be.
Yeah, but what if the riddle is, what do I have in my pocket?
Time.
Yeah, you're right. Vodniks, on the other hand, were slightly different from the Utopche or Topielche. They were supposed to be short, elderly people with green fish eyes who not only drowned specific people, but were responsible for all floods and floodings.
Holy shit. All of them?
Therefore, all of them.
That's a lot of work.
Therefore, offerings were given to them from time to time in the form of house pets to ensure their favor.
Oh, that's awful.
Supposedly for entertainment, they would sometimes place trinkets on the water to lure daredevils to the middle of the waters and never let them go.
Wow. What kind of trinket would have to be on the water to get you to go out there, Roger?
All right, here we go. Sony A1 camera.
Okay.
You do that, I'd be drowned. I'd be like, like it's a gamble, but it's a 6K I don't have to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess my price for possible death is 6K.
Yeah, I guess if there was some kind of like brand new cool scooter out there, I'd be like, oh, sweet. Somebody just left a scooter for me.
I would also do it. if it was the exact opposite, like if it was like a skeleton hand sticking out of the
Whoa.
ground, I'd be like, is that a hand? And I would try and pick it up.
We
and
gotta
then
go.
that's when
You gotta
they
go get
me.
this shit for the pod.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've done to ourselves over the years. Is we've sort of given ourselves the poison of we're definitely gonna go check out what that sound was.
Mm-hmm.
You know? No, I'll go by myself. I use my phone.
And also, what wouldn't I do for a Klondike bar? Still, the most feared were children utopiaks, meaning those that had drowned accidentally and also those murdered by their own mothers. This comes up a lot.
A lot.
A lot of kids in Poland being murdered by their mothers who then commit suicide and become crazy spirits.
Was it that Poland has bad mothers or that it has bad kids?
I don't know.
Kids bad enough to be like,
is.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to kill them and we'll all be monsters. How about that?
The cruelest and most stubborn of them were said to not spare anyone until they murdered them.
Wow.
I also think maybe because these are all horrific monsters. Like some of these are beating Japan's horrific monsters.
Yeah,
is this just what happens in war-torn countries that like are constantly fighting?
Sure, for survival, just like places that are struck by famine and war and disease and hard living.
Because like Japan, the shogunates fought for like centuries, and I feel a lot of their demons deal with that type of despair to where like they got to be worse than the sites they're already seeing. So these guys are so much horrific. Is it because they were always going through war? Is it because Poland's the war zone of Europe?
Potentially.
I am pretty sure that's why.
Or perhaps these monsters, these creatures are attracted to it. Perhaps war happens in these places because of these monsters.
Dun, dun, dun.
Squee.
This next one I'm guaranteed to pronounce wrong. It's Mamuna or Zivazune.
Mamuna Hatara.
You really hit those DZs.
Yeah. And then here's women again. This time old ones with long and sagging breasts and a terrifying appearance.
Okay.
What did they do? They would switch children with so-called changelings, meaning their offspring. These Polish demons were very intelligent. They would watch a young mother for a long time to react in just the right moment. They would also sometimes use tricks to lure her as far away from her child as possible.
Scary.
It was their revenge for their own death in childbirth or during pregnancy.
Revenge on who? A fucking random person?
On the world.
Guess so.
Fate.
Pretty petulant.
I'd hate the fucking world if I grew up in these parts of Poland. I'd be a supervillain.
They actually offer protection against them. There's a rare piece of paranormal advice from Discover Krakow. A red ribbon on the child's hand and a red hat will keep them away. It's also best just to not approach their habitats, i.e., all wetlands, bogs, and cavities hollowed out on the river slopes.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
where
don't go to the river park at night.
Where am I supposed to go then when I travel to Poland, if not for the bogs and the water holes by the river?
Go to Disneyland, Poland.
Disneyland, Krakow.
It's down in the bog.
And if you don't succeed, how do you recognize a changeling placed by a Mamana Divashana?
Yeah.
Such kids had a big belly, a disproportionate head, very thin limbs, and a hairy body.
All right.
And their favorite pastime.
I feel very called out.
Their favorite pastime is emptying the pantry, including the alcohol stash.
Look.
And they usually die before growing up.
Look. So if you have a kid, if you have a horrible little drunk kid
with a fucking like
the weird little
monkey's
goblin
body,
bod,
yeah.
Then it's probably a Zujinjara.
Listen, my family were all adopted. My parents were both adopted. What I see there is a chance to love a child. It doesn't matter how far genetically related to you it is. It doesn't matter if it has a goblin body.
Bring whiskey.
You bring it whiskey. You help it. You help nurture the goblin child.
I want to vodka. Blah, 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 blah.
And for some reason, the last one in this category is just will-o'-the-wisps, which, you know,
it was kind of fun.
They just kind of lead you away to, die in the forest or whatever. But yeah, of all of those, I have a hard time deciding which one is this weirdest.
And they're all pretty weird, aren't they?
You got to decide, Jordan. You got a gun to your head. Who's winning the award?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I'm going to be freaking out about this gun to my head.
All right. I put the gun away. I'm sorry. I escalated the party.
Thank God. You win. You win. I don't know. That guy who has a beard made of corn who comes and takes you away in the middle of the day is pretty weird. Also, the daytime lady. The daytime lady is very scary because that's not where you expect monsters. And it's like, you don't expect the hottest part of the day to also be a day where you have to deal with some monstery shit, you know?
Yeah.
You think that you're
soul-stealing creature that shows up mid-shift.
Yeah, mid-shift, exactly. Oh God.
It does seem to be
with all due respect, this bitch.
It does seem to be a creature that strikes you when you're most vulnerable in the middle of the day, when you think you're the safest, right in the middle of a hard day's work, to where like you're ready to break for lunch.
About to take a break, you got a fucking BLT
in
your sack. You're gonna smash that shit. And here she comes.
You're suffering from sunstroke,
ambling down the way, and then here's a dude who's got fucking wheat sheaves for a beard. It's weird. It's a weird day.
So the next category is Polish demons of the mountains and underground.
Okay.
This first one, Lishir Zepa, or Roybizol, I think.
Okay.
He had many names. Sometimes two things can't pronounce, and sometimes the mountain spirit.
Whoa.
Who is this demon then? Usually it is a deer standing on its hind legs with a devil's tail and horse hooves, holding a long vertical stick in his hands.
Good Lord.
However, this is again only one of the versions.
Poland.
According to another.
Are you okay? Do you need help? Blink if you need help, Poland.
If I found these drawings in somebody's notebooks. It's a deer with a devil's tail, and he's got a long stick.
It sometimes appears as an old man leaning on a staff, looking kind of like Gandalf.
Okay. It's the old bait and switch.
So when going to the Karkonoshia Mountains, you had to carry a black rooster because only this offering could appease the mountain's demon. What would befall a passerby who had no offering? No one knows, because such a daredevil never made it back from the Polish mountains. Here's one that seems very ominous. This is just called the Treasurer.
Oh God, that sounds like a fucking FromSoft boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's got a throne inside of a gold with a gold coins is thrown across the floor. I can't speak anymore.
Yeah,
one of his scepters is just pure rubies.
Yeah.
Yeah, this paragraph opens with not only the mountains aroused fear, even more terrifying was the underground. One of the underground demons was the treasurer, who lived in mines and guarded the treasures buried there.
Crazy.
Clearly, miners feared him the most. Their fate depended on this spirit's mood. Seeing the laziness of workers or simply on a whim, he could cause a collapse, flooding, and even a fire. He was also ruthless and vindictive toward all dishonest miners, as well as those who did not like their work.
Wow.
He's depicted as an old man with a long gray beard in a linen cloth robe, holding a pickaxe and a miner's lamp. Although you don't see him working, do you? One could see him in the dark due to his eyes glowing green or red. He also liked transforming into a mouse, a black dog, or a frog. Sometimes he was also invisible. His arrival was heralded by a disturbing tapping sound.
Oh, so you just never knew when this bastard of a supervisor was going to be watching you.
Yeah.
This son of a bitch.
Here I
This
come, collapsing a
motherfucker.
mine.
You should have been working harder for your master.
Yeah.
Fucking bootlicker.
Yeah, what? You supposed to... You get to guard the treasure? Who died? And put you in charge of this treasure? Oh, the other guy? The previous monster? Okay.
And next we have the devil, or Chort, I guess, as he's known.
Okay.
We're back to the surface for the moment, to the mountain areas, to meet with one of the most terrifying Polish mythology creatures, the devil,
Satan.
usually referred to as a fiend or a Chort in Poland. An evil, troublesome demon, of course. Funny enough, though, he limped on one leg. He lived in the mountains, but primarily forest and swamp areas. Hilariously, you can trick him like you can always do the stupid devil.
The stupid devil returns.
Yeah.
Stupid devil.
Supposedly, he once offered a Polish nobleman, Twardowski, a small deal. The man could sell his soul to him and in return would receive great knowledge of magic. The cunning Pole forced the devil to sign a chirograph, which I don't know exactly what a chirograph is.
It's like a spirograph.
Okay. So he could just easily change it.
Yeah.
He'd only take his soul to hell if he went to Rome, and Twardowski never intended to go there.
Pretty specific.
The Polish demon, however, actually, so it's not a stupid devil situation, was far more cunning and caught up with the nobleman in a tavern called Rome.
He's a fucking genius.
You can stupid bastard. You knew the promise you made.
You can still actually go to this tavern.
Oh, wow.
It's in Stuka Beskidzka.
I actually can't. I promised I wouldn't.
Then you can actually so this guy he got the magical knowledge and apparently became a crazy famous alchemist.
Whoa.
And in Krakow you can actually visit these Twardowski rocks, which is a rock formation supposedly formed after explosions in the nobleman's laboratory.
Wow, crazy. That rocks. Didn't mean to, but I'll take it.
Some weird science.
It's weird science.
So I feel like it's kind of between the treasurer, and I can't give it to the devil, even whatever, he's the devil.
The devil has enough awards. I'm giving it to the treasurer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the devil has all of those landforms in America named after them.
Yeah. I even think maybe just give it to Twardowski.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he became a weird monster, kind of. He had magical powers.
Yeah. Those crystals?
The next category, vampire creatures. Tell me if we're going extremely long.
Yeah, this is going long, but I'm enjoying it. You know, honestly, why don't we just dive into some Polish fucking monsters? This is fun.
So
things can be moved. We're good.
Various vampire creatures. The first one, Bebok, or bogeyman.
Oh, the Bogan Man? Bogan Man.
Yes.
The bloody is that what it is?
Well, they say bogey with a Y, but I mean, yeah.
All right.
The boogers man.
In John Wick, they say Baba Yaga means boogeyman.
Yaga.
Now the truth comes out.
I don't think that was ever accurate.
I take John Wick as the truth. It is my Bible.
Let's now discuss the most terrifying products of Polish folklore. Let's start with the bebok, also called a bobok in Małopolska and Wielkopolska, and babok in Kujawi. Kujawi? I don't know. What did he look like? Here, everyone agrees. Like a night bogeyman with the height of a child, with a large and extremely ugly aged face, and all hairy.
Ugh.
The perfect monster to scare your children with. Bebok was supposed to scare naughty children who didn't want to sleep.
Little hairy old man will come in and get you.
I mean, to scare naughty children who don't want to sleep. Perfect. Tell them a story about the Bebok.
Whenever I remember, I've told you guys about this 1,000 times.
The bag man?
Yeah, the rat bag man. I've experienced this, and it was fucking insane.
Of course, you're never going to sleep again.
Yeah, ever been terrified to sleep? Doesn't work.
However, he's far too stupid to act on his own, so he carried out the orders of witches. Thus, the legend arose, claiming that Beboks are the souls of children who died early, again, child death, and who did not listen to their parents.
Wow.
So they liked making mischief and destroying various objects in others' homes. And once they had their fun, they took other disobedient children with them.
Ooh, my children.
Wow. Always with the children.
Yeah.
Children are not safe in Poland.
These are a couple fun ones. Zumori and Dusiowski.
Sound like
Maybe.
a couple of goofballs.
Yeah, well, they're mares and stranglers.
Oh, well.
Well,
That is kind of goofy.
While nature-related creatures could be appeased somehow, vampiric beings were absolutely ruthless. While Beboks scared children at night, the adults were haunted by mares, ghastly souls that tormented, strangled, and sucked blood from humans.
What?
That's right. These were the souls of those who were harmed in some way. Wow. Therefore, sometimes they were tall women with unnaturally long legs, and sometimes shapeless girls. I don't know why these were the two, naturally fitting descriptions.
I like to do a little kind of impression of that folklore bon mot every time we hear about it, which is just, okay. Because I think that's kind of the idea, is that everybody who sees them will be like, all right, and then they get got, Green hair lady laying by the lake.
All right.
Okay. Long-legged lady walking down the street. All right. Gotcha.
I think you should be faithful is the lesson we're learning.
Mm-hmm. Be chaste.
All you Polish husbands.
And don't ever, ever, ever be a child.
You're an adult now. Go to the factory.
Go to work.
Get out in that field and avoid the midday lady.
Ring this bell if she gets you.
This is kind of funny too. Fuck. This is how you recognize that you've been visited by a mare. If you're sweating and kick around in your bed, it's a sign that it's time to wake up quickly.
That's every night.
Literally any anxiety.
No. That sounds like you have niacin poisoning or something.
No, I don't. It's a mare.
Oh, right. Keep taking the niacin.
I do have a problem of over sweating and not waking up kicking per se, but I wake up and like have to like move my legs around, kick them
You
around.
get Jimmy legs. I understand. Sure.
Well,
Now I
here's the
know
thing,
that's a mare, not the niacin poison.
Right.
But
not the
do
pills, the supplements you take to stay vascular.
I must be vascular.
I like it when I close my fist and everyone can see my veins. It's really important to me.
What's up? Keep it vascular.
If you do wake up and feel it says characteristic pressure in your chest after opening your eyes, which I don't think you should feel. It should not be characteristic.
You didn't mention that. They do a lot of this article does a lot of being like, the thing we talked about. So
Yeah.
I didn't even mention that. But yeah.
That means that you were instead visited by a strangler, which only has one purpose, which is to choke you in your sleep.
Wait, let me guess it. Shit.
That one sounds horrific. I'm glad I've never had that to me.
They're all really bad. And Roger, you're absolutely right. There are like parallels with kind of certain Japanese yokai and stuff.
It seems that countries and people who have gone through some centuries of war need some ghosts that are worse.
Yeah. What could possibly be worse? I've got an idea.
I have a thought on the subject.
Wild. Okay, Nate, do you have more for us? Yeah.
UPR, the Wraith.
Okay.
Slavic creepy folklore also knows the Wraith, a Polish equivalent of vampires, as the UPR.
Ooh.
I think maybe. UPR. What does it look like? It is a ghost filled with blood, with a soft, shaky, and unstable body without any meat or bone.
That's the worst shit in the world. What?
Wraiths were thought to be living corpses. If, after digging up the grave, the face of the buried person was still ruddy and the casket intact, that meant the soul had turned into a demon. Sadly, this belief came from a rather frightening fact, namely that in the images, it quite often happened for people to be buried alive.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Well, my judge's award goes to the Wraith for this category. I don't care if it's not over.
Quivering blood amoeba? That's awful.
Well, but there's also a specific, you have to be this thing in your life, or most often this thing in your life. You have to be redheaded, left-handed, and have overgrown eyebrows.
Fuck.
Oh my, I'm 2 of those things. Jordan, you're 3 of those things.
And their graves were later unearthed to check the state of the corpse. However, these Polish demons were also those who were not buried or who were missing or banished from their village. Wow, in any case, a wraith would wake up at night and go hunting, devouring the insides of unlucky victims or draining their whole life.
Jesus.
So here's the things you can actually carry to protect yourself. Name them off: garlic, silver, steak.
Steak,
the vampire special.
As in, like a wooden steak, not steak.
Exactly. Or, I mean, anything you can pierce the body with.
Yeah.
But you have to dig up the body from the grave, and you have to put it, cut off their head, put it between their legs, and then turn them on their stomach.
Ah, the Romanian special.
Huh.
Yeah.
Surprising. I would probably have done that already by accident, but it's interesting. But it would be the same thing.
Which actually brings us to the next one, which is the Strigoi. And we've talked at length about them, so I don't think we need to cover the vampire, but like straight up vampires are the next part of the vampire section.
Yeah.
I take it away from the vampires. You're not winning this one. I'm giving my award to the Wraith.
Well,
I'm texting him right now. I'm trying to get you this award, buddy.
And it says
these ones are a little bit different in the Polish mythology. I mean, it's the Strigs, I guess, in The Witcher.
Oh,
They most often appeared in the form of a ghastly
Striga.
woman,
Yeah.
or a black bird. A Strigon is the later male equivalent. When we noticed that there were too many demonic women in this repertoire, I assume of the Witcher Monstracum or whatever.
Yeah.
However, according to accounts, Strigs were people with 2 souls, 2 hearts, and a second row of teeth, which I've never heard about vampires before.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I've seen it in like some movies. I can't remember which one, but I thought it was just like a design from that person trying to make vampires scarier. I didn't think there was a historical basis for it.
Weird.
Was it Daywalkers?
Yeah, that feels like
individuals.
Anyway, go ahead.
Such individuals were banished, and they quickly died, unable to cope with new conditions. So one soul would then leave the body, and the other remained, taking revenge on people for the wrongs they had done.
And that's why it needs all that extra blood to power the second soul.
It says that the Strigs drank blood and ate people's insides, and the only way to defend against them is to burn their bodies or pierce them with a nail.
Oh. Let's just do that second one.
Yeah, it seems way easier than most of the vampire killing.
Yeah, but they're going to be all full of blood. Like, you don't want to try to attack them when they're like angry and thirsting for blood. You wait till after, and then you puncture with the nail. Blood gets all over. I'm going to set off fire.
Okay, fair enough.
The next one is the
Licho
or Licho. The number of Polish proverbs with the word Licho is really impressive. This was an exceptionally evil Polish demon, the epitome of all human woes, illnesses, and disease in the world.
Holy shit.
Oh, well, this person wins, I guess.
No. Now hang on. Are they a quivering bag of blood?
And, the article assumes, again, that we already know a bunch about this. You probably already know what form it was portrayed in. An overly skinny woman with one big eye in the middle of her forehead.
What?
I'm into it. Where is this category on my website?
Okay.
Licho would wander around looking for places where people are happy. Then came the time to play, sending hunger, poverty, fires, and whatever calamities that came to the monster's head. There's no defense against it. You had to be resilient and patient in waiting for better times.
Wow. So it sees joy and has to destroy it. Sounds like my mother-in-law. Just kidding. I'm not married. And that's
very much some Grendel energy there. Here's dancing in the halls. I'm going to smash that shit up.
Yeah.
But with the powers of a Sim City designer. Tornado.
Yeah.
The last one in the category is the Morova Dziewicza. Dziewicza. Or Plague Maiden.
This is also, I remember this quest. Man, this is crazy.
Certainly one of the most terrible Slavic monsters. Before a plague arrived in the city, it would fly around at night in the form of a skinny woman, a skeleton, or a bloody sheet.
Yikes!
Sometimes, for convenience, she would mount a passerby and sit on his or her shoulders, ordering this person to wander around villages and towns, waving a headscarf and bringing down mass death and terrible torment.
No, please. I don't consent to this.
But it was not only about death. The plague maiden raised such a monstrous terror that people would go mad. They'd set fires, murder others, even their own children. Once again,
it is.
Attack the healthy. This creature could neither be tamed nor calmed down.
Yikes.
It was not only the most terrible, but also the final and inevitable.
It's the final boss.
So those are the vampire creatures of the
very
category.
Terrifying. I'm hereby ceding my segment to Nate because mine was going to be about a different monster from a different folklore, but I kind of just want to hear about more Polish monsters.
I'm going to do what town was I even going to go to?
Brooklyn.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll do Brooklyn next week, but I still have I got all my sources. Y'all don't worry, we're doing Polish demons.
Let's do Polish demon deep dive.
Here's the thing. we are at the end of this particular
son of a bitch.
list. I mean, there's one more. There's one more, but it's the basilisk, and it's in the fantastic monsters category. And I think we've covered the basilisk enough.
That's that drunk of a lizard who turns everything to stone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That drunk of a lizard. Okay, well, right as we got to the end, I still cede you my segment. Roger, will you? Do you still have time to tell us about Brooklyn? Because I live here, and I would like to know.
We'll do a little bit longer of an episode. We got it. Let's hit up. So a while ago, I hit up the Twitter.
Yeah, there's got to be some good hauntings in Greenpoint.
There's some shit. I found some stuff. Okay, so all of you responded to Werewolf Radar's tweet about what your hometown is. We'll do some research on your hometown. We did. I can't remember the first one. Brisbane is how it's pronounced.
Brisbane. Yep.
That was the first one. Then we went over to Nottingham with the help of Paranoid Cryptid and the paranormal database they provided. And now we are jumping over to America and talking about Brooklyn.
Fuck yeah.
I have some crazy fucking shit about Brooklyn from a couple sources. I have a little bit of brooklynlibrary.org. I have various clippings of haunted stories that were published in the 1800s and early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
We have a house now standing on Court Street, but then sedated, which I'm not sure what that means. But that's what it says. Sit and then nated. But then sit nated on Old Hook Lane. A party of revelers. The brandy gives out. Strange death of a man who went to get fresh supply.
Of brandy?
Articles were
hit
different.
us with it.
Articles were different.
Words were different back then.
There's my favorite one from the series of clips from this website is Flushing has a ghost that frightens coppers. The police headquarters in that village
Queens
declared to be haunted. It's a feminine ghost.
Oh, okay.
But I am now going to do a deep dive of sorts from a article that was produced 1902, October 3rd, from the Brooklyn Daily Eagle.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
One of the most
be insane.
One of the most haunted houses was Melrose Hall, which occupied
Aaron Spelling's original place.
Which once occupied a sumptuous 20 acres of land on Bedford Avenue between Winthrop Street and Clarkson Avenue in the Flatbush neighborhood.
Okay.
Jordan, are you pinpointing where this is to go for the Werewolf Radar tour?
Oh, wait a minute. It's my house.
The large mansion was a prime setting for a haunting, both for its appearance and history. The house was set back from a street at the end of a long lane of trees and was, according to the Eagle, the quaintest and queerest old place one could imagine. The building was 2.5 stories high with a wing on each end, and steep roofs slanted in all directions, and gables projected here and there in the oddest sort of way.
Does sound quite odd.
This sounds like a crazy-ass looking house.
It is more normal than that description made it be. They were using some flowery
old-timey language, yeah.
Descriptions of the interior cast a more sinister shadow over the property, with dark corridors, oddly shaped rooms, winding stairways, black holes, mysterious trap doors.
Yeah, you shouldn't have black holes in your house.
Or mysterious trap doors.
Yeah. If there's a trap door in your house, you should know where it goes. And if there's a black hole in your house, you need to call an exterminator.
It's just like in the kitchen wall. and other unprecedented features. The structure was built in 1749 by an Englishman named
a hot
Lane.
tub in a closet?
I mean, I get the convenience, but there's better rooms.
Unprecedented.
Now, Lane was an Englishman who was banished from his homeland for his wild, carousing habits.
That's it, Lane. You're out of here. One carousal too far.
So,
that's what I say.
And all of this.
So these all lead to secret fuck rooms.
They all lead to
clearly.
secret fuck rooms. You have the black hole fuck room. You have the mysterious trapdoor fuck rooms.
Yes, it's something of the theme, you see.
So he was banished from his homeland for wild habits. Which quickly,
the fuck room.
Which quickly took up again in his American home.
You gotta be, you gotta have some wild habits.
How much do you gotta be doing?
Get kicked out of a whole ass country, dude.
Now, after Lane's death, the house was sold to a Colonel William Axtell, a loyalist to the British Crown, who was himself a rollicking fellow and a lusty drinker.
Oh, okay.
All right. So he'd been there. He'd seen the trapdoor room.
He knows about it. He was noted as being a 3-bottle man.
Oh, meaning he could fit Jesus. 3 bottles inside of his.
Yep.
So, Axtell.
I've got more orifices than 3, my friend.
So now, in the Melrose Hall, Axtell allegedly built secret chambers in the mansion to hide his Tory friends, along with dungeons under the house to imprison American patriots during the war.
Whoa, you scumbag. Back off, Mr. Hand.
This is still in Brooklyn, I believe.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm sure it's still there, but it's probably, I mean, I bet it's like some sort of industrial housing now or something.
Well, now it's a respectable government-funded trapdoor fuck house.
It was Axtell's residence that produced the ghost, which would immortalize the mansion. The story was popular.
Did he H.H. Holmes out his house a century before H.H. Holmes?
That's so crazy. H.H. Holmes just fucking...
We stand
like the fucking like the most grisly Jim Henson making a horrible Muppet of murder out of his entire house.
We all stand on the shoulders of giants, Nate, in our respective industries. So the story was popularized by celebrated actress and author Anna Cora Mowat, who lived in Melrose Hall and gave the mansion its name. Upon retiring from the stage, she published a memoir, The Autobiography of an Actress.
Anna Cora Mowat. And
in this autobiography in 1854, she described her years in the historic Flatbush home and included a story of a doomed love that made the mansion, according to the Eagle, home to the largest assortment of most gruesome ghost stories of any house in the state.
Yikes. Okay. Hit me.
This is from now the Eagle, 1895. Colonel Axtell, according to tradition, was the second son of an English nobleman, married a daughter of wealth, and his fiancée was accomplished and prepossessing. But unfortunately, she had a sister named Alva, with whom the colonel fell in love. Miserable, Axtell set sail for New York to serve in the American colonies, but little did he know that the next ship he sailed for that port from England bore the colonel's beautiful sister-in-law, who disguised herself by putting on men's clothes. Alva revealed herself to Axtell, who was then living in Melrose Hall. He had a secret chamber, again with the secret chambers, the article
Again
says.
with
There's
the
a lot of secret
chambers.
chambers. But for Alva, he had a
And I-
secret chamber built above the ballroom, fitted with all the luxury and comfort that money could buy.
Huh?
One of Axtell's slaves was charged with taking care of Alva's needs, but no one was to know about her presence.
I'd be
After
telling everybody.
After 3
Well, that's the thing is like every single servant in that house, every single slave that they
Yeah,
knew about the secret chambers.
Knew
and this
about
lady
what was
something.
happening up there.
absolutely.
I am immediately
Keep it secret, person I don't pay, but whom keep in bondage.
Y'all get right on that, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
And then going right down to dinner and starting the whisper train.
Yeah.
So Axtell, after 3 years of this going on, Axtell was called away for several weeks. During his absence, his slave died, and accordingly, so did Alva.
Oh, wow. All right.
Wait, so she couldn't
What a
even figure
week.
out how to get out of the fucking secret room?
I
Yep.
think this is
Yikes.
not
Terrifying.
a keeping you safe here, but I kidnapped you,
Oh,
put
it's like-
men's
Yeah.
clothes on you, and
Okay,
then kept you
gotcha.
in the cage
Ah,
All right.
buy the men's clothes.
to
know what?
get the human trafficking.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So the actress heard about the grisly fate of Alva from her neighbors in Flatbush, who affirmed that a young girl had been purposely starved to death in that chamber and that the ghost wandered around the house at night.
Wow, terrifying.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how you make a ghost, for sure.
I have to go on record and say I don't think that this Axtell understands what the words "I'm in love with her" means.
There's grainy photos of how the room looked back then. It's a very small room. You have pictures up, a bed, a chair, a beautification desk.
Okay. like a
Do you mean
bureau,
a vanity?
A vanity, yeah.
Yes, with a Monstroko on de-cursed mirror.
The Monstroka Beautification Bureau. Now decursed.
So now the Brooklyn Public
Pretty sure.
Library, where we're pulling this information from, is said to have its own ghost, not unlike Alva of Melrose Hall.
Okay, scary.
In this library that I'm pulling information from, legend has it that a 6-year-old girl, Agatha Ann Cunningham, was visiting the Central Library with her classmates in October of 1977 when she strayed unnoticed from the group. Her absence wasn't discovered until 7 hours later, and the child was never found.
Yikes.
Employees and patrons alike say they hear mysterious noises coming from the library's basement stacks. Sometimes the soft laughter of a girl at play, and other
Yes.
times the nervous sobs of a lost child.
So is she just, presumably her corpse is just still in there somewhere?
In the walls,
Oh,
a lot of
that's
stuff happens,
terrifying.
even especially in the 70s in Brooklyn. It wasn't exactly a good place to be wandering off,
Guess
I
so.
hear from various movies called The Warriors.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it is the like prime time for serial abductors.
Yeah, for sure.
So you Brooklyn, you got some ghosts. I
You got
went
some
over
fucking
to
ghosts out there, Brooklyn.
It's crazy. You can go to
That's way spookier than I was
brooklynlibrary.org
prepared for.
and see the haunted ghost stories. They have them all, not all laid out, but they have
You got some of them.
the headlines. I was seeing, because all the links are like dead now because the Brooklyn Eagle cleaned up their website, but they
Oh, I
have
see.
the original headlines of all sorts of ghosts
Wow.
articles, such as "Ghost in a Flat House Rang Electric Bells."
Wow. Flat house, huh?
Brooklyn's got Brooklyn's got a deep history of ghost
A
hauntings.
rich and storied tapestry of hauntrification. Terrifying.
A mini deep
that's
dive
fun
into
to learn about your
Melrose
new
Hall.
adopted hometown.
Yep. And I relinquished the skull. I get it off of my head. It's now for the group again.
That's going to do it for this episode of Werewolf Radar. We hope you had fun. We hope you learned a lot about Polish supernatural beings and about the strangely similar ones that are living in Brooklyn. A lot of thin, gaunt, terrifying figures haunting the world is what I'm learning. Thank you so much for your continued support, dear listener. Please tell your friends about the show. Please give us 5 stars. Me. Give me. Get me. What will we get you? Well, if you become a patron by going to patreon.com/werewolf radar, we will get you some mug. We'll get you some merchandise. We'll get you some fiction. We'll get you an additional freaking episode every month, every week that we call the Grave Nugget. That's what you'll get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else we got for you? We got friggin' games at twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. You can come watch us play Twitch. We're playing Sons of the Forest right now. My sweet boy, Kevin.
Our sweet boy, Kevin. You might know him as Kelvin, but we call him Kevin.
He's Kevin. He's oh boy,
yeah,
he's trying.
He's too dumb to even know that he's got the L in there.
He's too dumb to live, but too sweet to die.
They're trying to smarten him up, and I'm worried that they've changed our sweet boy Kevin.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it if he didn't catch himself on
you
fire.
Can't pin a note to his
That's what makes
chest
him
anymore.
sweet. No, he would catch himself on fire. He would chop down your house because it was technically a log, and he would move that log elsewhere. He was sweet.
We built a house, and he spent all night outside and almost froze to death because we didn't tell him to go to bed.
And then when I built the skull throne, he would only sit in the skull throne.
Yeah, he loves to sit in the skull throne, which is upsetting. Anyway, come watch us on Twitch. That does it for this episode. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. Y'all are the best. On the count of 3, our sign off line. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky!
Spaceman Joe.